Well, the next Barbara Stanwyck film finds her starring as a fashion designer and divorcee who's keen to kindle an old flame. There's always tomorrow, and it's tomorrow evening at 20 past midnight. And this is how it fits into our Christmas Eve on 2. Other highlights include carols from King's College, Cambridge, the story of a tragic love affair, Paper Kisses, a portrait of Priddy the Hedgehog, a celebration of Antonio Stradivari, and the highly praised film The Bostonians, starring Christopher Reeve and Vanessa Redgrave. That's Christmas Eve on BBC Two. And this is the sort of weather we can expect for Christmas Eve. Most places will have a mild night with a little rain or drizzle here and there, but some central and eastern areas may have patches of fog and frost. Christmas Eve will be mainly cloudy, and some rain will spread across western areas during the day. And a quick look at the temperatures. Well, it'll be quite mild, but the west will be windy. Well, that's the weather, and it's also the end of programmes for the moment here on BBC Two. Radio 2's on the air, of course, all through the night. Brian Matthew is broadcasting at the moment, and he'd be pleased to have your company. But from all of us here on BBC Two at the Television Centre in London, this is David Allen wishing you a very good night. Good night.
Stars in the British television premiere of Francis Coppola's witty look at nostalgia, regret and time travel. Peggy Sue Got Married.
The presentation tonight is Alan Bennett's Insurance Man. When a young worker is injured, his claim for compensation brings him up against an insensitive bureaucracy.
Has it ever occurred to you that everyone who comes before this panel has, prior to their accident, been of a sunny and equable disposition, capable of long periods of sustained attention, unvisited by headaches or indeed any infirmity at all? We cannot compensate people for being cast out of paradise. All these sheaves of reports are saying is, I didn't know how lucky I was till this happened. So now they do know. They have achieved wisdom and a degree of self-knowledge. They should be paying us, not we them. We appear to have a visitor.
This is outrageous.
The idea!
Get out!
Not until someone tells me where to go!
Alan Bennett's look at mindless and labyrinthine bureaucracy in Insurance Man, tonight at 10 past 10 on BBC Two.
Gordon, James and Johnny know all about trains. After all, they're train spotters. They collect loco numbers and take pictures of engines. But one day in 1960, a troublesome sight poses an awkward question. Could there be more to life than just trains?
Johnny,
What?
look at Jan.
Shelf me! Is there binoculars for me?
Get up, Johnny.
Get out!
What are we doing, Johnny?
Necking.
Necking? What's that?
What are we doing?
I know, but what were he feeling inside the ship for?
Feeling it is.
And there are more sinister facts of life to be learned by the three boys on their day's train spotting. Song of Experience tonight at 10:15 in Screen 2. At 11:20 we catch American singer-songwriter Johnny Russell acting naturally with guests Boxcar Willie and Colorado. Before that, at 10:15...
And our shout is that Gary Moore Band and the REO Speedwagon are featured in the second of the rock-pop concerts in Germany in next Friday's whistle test at the earlier time of 11:15. Saturday evening on BBC Two. The news and sport is at 7, followed at 7:20 by the second of the series of masterclasses with the distinguished Austrian pianist Alfred Brendel. At 8:05, Begging the Ring, a feature film set in an isolated community during the Second World War. Danny Simpson stars as a young wrestler who's called up whilst he's training for the championships. John Fortune's six-part comedy serial Roger Doesn't Live Here Anymore begins a second showing on BBC Two at 9, followed at 9:30 by the last of 4 plays on the theme of dancers. Sheffield is the story of Paula, a principal with a touring ballet company who disappears on the eve of the opening performance. After the news on 2 at 10:25, John Finch and Francesca Annis can be seen in Roman Polanski's celebrated film version of Shakespeare's Macbeth. Programmes for Saturday on BBC Two. Now the time was almost 19 minutes past midnight. Saturday's BBC Radio offers a wide variety of listening, including at 10 a brand new morning show with Dave Lee Travis on Radio 1, followed at 1 o'clock by B.B. King, featured in Guitar Greats. Radio 3 at 7:30 tomorrow night has a performance of Dvorak's opera Rusalka. And one of Radio 4's highlights is at 3:30 in the afternoon, the first programme of a new series of Groundswell, with a look at a variety of topics and issues connected with the environment at home and abroad. Well, at home in London's Broadcasting House at the moment is Brian Matthew, who will be looking after Radio 2 until 1 a.m, when night owls fill the airspace. To fill our airspace on BBC 2 for a few more moments, a little music. But now this is John Glover at Television Centre in London, wishing you a very good night. Good night to you.
A new series of Film International is starting shortly on BBC Two with one from France, Une semaine de vacances, a week's holiday.
BBC Two, live from the Ice Stadium in Nottingham, we're privileged to have the first glimpse of the new routine created for champions Torvill and Dean as they defend their title in this year's Ice Dance Championship of Great Britain.
Here on to now the inimitable timing of Frankie Howard on another romp through Roman realms, up Pompeii.
Administering first aid to a declining industry, now on BBC Two, The Money Programme.
The latest action from the Crucible Sheffield, now on BBC Two with David Vine at the World Snooker Championship.
We hope to show the film Espresso Bongo at a later date. However, Cliff Richard is back on Friday at 6 o'clock in the film Wonderful Life with Susan Hampshire. Well, now on BBC Two, our final summer date in Barnsdale.
And now BBC Two, a mid-season roundup of the Fantasy Football League.
Going home now on BBC Two, REM are on tour and on stage in Atlanta, Georgia.
Now on BBC Two, Homefront has a wait with weddings.
The shocking truth about Buffy's little sister in 45 minutes. But now on BBC Two, it seems too much of a good thing can be fatal.
So in an hour, handling the media, getting press coverage and dealing with interviews. Then at 4 o'clock, Enterprising Ideas shows us how to stage a celebrity event in just 6 weeks. And finally at 5, an A to Z of volunteering, along with practical health and safety guides for any group using volunteers. Before any of that, we start now with the lowdown on raising funds. Hello and a very warm welcome to BBC Learning Zone, through the night on BBC Two. And taking us up until 6 a.m. today, we've got work skills in the community.
To be beside the seaside.
I do like to be beside the sea.
I do like to stroll upon the prom.
Bands play to just let me be beside the seaside.
I'll be beside myself with
And there's lots of girls inside. I should like to be
beside the sea.
Discover your coast through the places, the people and their stories. Coast, coming soon on BBC Two.
Quality. 3 shows, 3 different characters, starting with the famous Chelsea Flower Show.
Come to Chelsea and you can take a floral trip around the world.
Followed by the world's largest annual flower show at Hampton Court Palace.
I'm really looking forward to it. This one could really excite people.
Then Tatton Park, where inspiration comes from all who take part.
Every year I take home some ideas for my garden.
All brought together by the Royal Horticultural Society, promoting the best in gardening.
It's the best medal in the world.
The Chelsea Flower Show continues today at 2:35 on BBC One and at 8 o'clock on BBC Two.
Now you can keep green-fingered whatever the weather and find out more about Dermot's big adventure by logging on to bbc.co.uk/gardening. Next tonight here on BBC Two, a 70s flashback to finger bobs and the first episode of Last of the Summer Wine, and in a new series now, Monty Don explores flowers in art over on BBC.
Even more space.
You want to try it on?
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're gonna like this.
Oh, I say.
Hidden Treasure at 8:30, Restoration is at 9. Before that on BBC Two, Escape to the Country.
Getting into the spirit of the 70s with the programmes that captured the moment now on BBC Two, and that was The Week We Watched. TV highlights of 1973, from the Wombles to a royal wedding in an hour on BBC Two. First, the pressures mounting and the strong language from the outset in Dermot's big adventure.
Crack open the champagne. 40 years ago today, BBC Two launched itself onto the nation's television sets. The first channel to bring you colour, the first channel to bring you Play School and The Office. And you don't get more diverse than that. So settle back and enjoy a host of famous faces, behind-the-scenes stories and a fine celebration of 40 years of broadcasting. Happy birthday, BBC Two.
Disturb your mind now with BBC Two, Raising the Dead.
It's Two, full of regal moments from our youth in 20 minutes. Now, BBC Two's full-on family. Now on BBC Two, whether you love or hate the beautiful game, I bet you sing along.
Behind the scenes of India's answer to EastEnders, a new series of Bombay Blush at 11:30, after the mystery deepens in The X-Files on BBC Two now. Somerville College, Oxford confronts the Durham team looking for a place in the quarter-finals. University Challenge in half an hour here on BBC Two.
A giant vacuum cleaner out of control now on BBC Two. Listen, don't mess with magic potions. This is BBC Two.
The film finds her starring as a fashion designer and divorcee who's keen to kindle an old flame. As always tomorrow, and it's tomorrow evening at 20 past midnight. And this is how it fits into our Christmas Eve on Two. And the highlights include carols from King's